¿Qué pasa YouTube? 6fthax here. Happy for you guys today. A really good and close battle against AceleaderSky, somebody who I've played before and he definitely knows what he's doing. Now, of course, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer that like button down below to answer the question of the day. For those of you who may be confused about the question of the day, currently Dugtrio is being suspect tested in the OU tier to potentially be banned to Ubers, which is really crazy once you think about it. So let me know how you guys feel about that in the comment section below. Personally, I never thought of Dugtrio as that big of a threat, but I definitely do want to use it because I've never really dabbled with it. So let's go ahead and get this match started. Now, going into this game, Latios and Tapu Koko were probably going to be the two biggest issues that I saw, just because depending on what set Latios will determine on how I can deal with it, and Tapu Koko, if the sash on my Dugtrio is broken and I'm not able to trap it, could turn out to be a humongous pain to deal with. So he's going to be leading off with Landorus as I lead off with Tomas the Tangrowth, and he's going to go straight for the U-turn on now into his Heatran. I decided just to stay in on the off chance that he was a standard defensive Landorus, and he decided to go for the Stealth Rocks, but as he U-turns to the Heatran, I'm going to be able to knock off the leftovers, and then predicting him to not go for the Fire type move, I'm going to go for the Earthquake. At the same time, I could have hard switched directly to Dugtrio, but I really didn't want to risk that because I didn't want to potentially be burned by the Lava Plume. So seeing that Earthquake can knock him out the following turn, what I'm going to do is actually switch out into my Tapu Fini, expecting him to try to stay in and just go for the Lava Plume to get off some damage on me, but he actually switches into his Latios, and I'm thinking I'm in a really good spot right now. I can definitely just go for the Defog, get rid of these rocks for my Charizard, and get rid of the rocks so the sash on my Dugtrio is not broken, as he's gonna go for the Psychic. This actually does more damage than I was expecting it to do, as he's going to be able to cleanly 3 KO me, but this is fine because as long as he doesn't have the Hidden Power Fire, I do have a pretty good answer to this Latios in the form of my Skarmory, which is going to be able to hopefully get up Stealth Rocks, and then that way I can start getting off that initial chip damage on his team. As I switch it in here, he pulls out the Thunderbolt, which completely threw me off guard. Like, I have not seen Thunderbolt Latios since Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and now I just lost my Stealth Rocker because I have rocks on this and I don't have rocks on Dugtrio, which I could change this up to spikes and put rocks on Dugtrio, I guess. That wouldn't be too bad because then I could have maybe got up rocks later with Dugtrio, but now I'm not going to be able to get that initial chip damage on his team, which is going to be really bad for me in this match. As he switches into his Ferrothorn, I'm going to be able to hit that with the Ice Beam. I am modest max special attack, so I'm able to do a solid 35-40%, as then I'm going to go for the all-out pummeling because I didn't want to risk missing Focus Blast. Plus, there was a possibility that maybe he would want to switch into his Tapu Koko or into his Landorus, expecting me to maybe switch out, thinking that I couldn't do anything to the Ferrothorn, but I'm going to be able to just nuke this Ferrothorn and easily knock him out. I end up getting a crit, but this crit honestly does not matter whatsoever. That definitely would have been KO'd, as I'm able to knock out the Ferrothorn. That's really good. I now do not have to worry about him potentially getting up spikes, as he then brings in his Landorus, and he's going to confirm to me that he's actually Scarf because he's about to outspeed me. Now, the reason why I stayed in here was because I knew the switch out was way too obvious, and I'm honestly in a pretty good position right now of where I can just click Ice Beam again and either knock out the Heatran the following turn with Focus Blast or get off good damage on the Tapu Koko, the Terrakion, or maybe even knock out the Latios. As he does switch into the Heatran, I get a crit, doesn't matter because my Focus Blast will knock him out, but of course I end up missing, and that miss was actually really huge because Pheromosa just applied so much pressure to Sky's team, and now it's gone. I guess the good thing about this is that not only do I prevent him from getting up rocks, but I'm gonna be able to trap and knock out this Heatran, but I would have much rather have hit that Focus Blast to knock out Heatran, but it's okay because I do get some justice later in the match as he brings in the Landorus. I know that he's Scarf and he's going to be able to easily outspeed me and break my sash, so I'm going to be forced to switch out here, and I can luckily just switch right into my Tangrowth on the off chance that maybe he didn't want to U-turn. He could have potentially gone for the hidden power or even gone for the knockoff, but he does make the safer play in going for the U-turn, which U-turn is doing about as much damage as Regenerator is recovering back to me, so it's like I'm taking practically no damage at all, which is really good. As he ends up bringing the Terrakion, I was really scared of what kind of Terrakion set this could have been. Luckily though, he doesn't turn out to be Rock Polish or a Z move, as he's going to just nuke my Tapu Fini and easily knock me out with the Stone Edge. This is really nice because now I can just bring back in Dugtrio to Pursuit Trap him and hopefully knock him out with the Earthquake, as I do go for it. Even after the attack buff in Sun and Moon, Terrakion is able to just barely survive as he actually misses the Stone Edge. Now, I don't know how much that miss actually mattered, but I'm going to be able to knock him out with the second Earthquake, because I mean I would have lived either way because I resist it and I still have my Sash intact. So now that I still have my Sash intact, I can potentially use this to my advantage against that Tapu Koko. So I guess in that sense it may matter if I'm able to trap Tapu Koko, that is, as back comes the Landorus again. He can just break my Focus Sash with U-turn, so I'm going to be forced to switch out here as he does end up going for the U-turn again. And this is where him having Thunderbolt on Latios and him knocking out my Skarmory just really messed me up, because having up those Stealth Rocks for that Landorus would have been so helpful, because I would have been able to get off residual damage every time he switched in and out. So I'm going to leave in my Tangrowth here thinking that the switch out was way too obvious, so maybe he was going to go for a U-turn, and knowing that if he did go for the Hidden Power Fire, I would be able to live, as I'm able to chew that hit. In return, I'm going to get off a solid amount of damage with the Earthquake, and now I'm in a bit of a tough spot on whether or not I should switch out or stay in. And I was very close to bringing in my Charizard, but I didn't want to risk him potentially going for the Thunderbolt, as he does make the aggressive middle ground play and going for the Hidden Power Fire. And because he did miss that Stone Edge earlier, I'm able to live the hit on 1 HP and in return get off an extra turn of Life Orb damage, which is kind of crucial because now he's in range of where he can only take one more attack. Although he still has a really good chance to win this match. My only hope at this point is that Dragon Dance Charizard will be able to pull out the victory. Now, because his Landorus is Scarf, he most likely has no HP and no defense investment. So after going for the Dragon Dance and being brought back to neutral attack after the Intimidate from the Landorus, I do still have a slight chance to knock him out with the Flare Blitz. So Tapu Koko knocked himself out to the Life Orb as I do get off this Dragon Dance. And at this point, it just really all comes down to whether or not I'm able to knock out this Landorus with my Flare Blitz. So of course he gets the Intimidate off. Now if I was adamant, he would have been able to outspeed me. Luckily though, I am jolly, so I'm gonna go for the Flare Blitz, really hoping I'm able to OHKO him. But no, he lives on like 2 or 3%, and he's gonna be able to just knock me out with the Stone Edge, and that's basically game, because Stone Edge is gonna put me in range of where Latios can knock me out. But Tomas is well trained, and I dodge the Stone Edge as I'm able to knock him out with the knockoff. It all comes down to whether or not he gets a high damage roll with his Draco Meteor, but he doesn't want to risk the miss, so he's gonna go for the Psychic, which I can easily live, and in return I'm gonna be able to cleanly knock him out with the knockoff, and that is going to be the very narrow 1-0 victory in my favor. So like I said guys, this was a really good match. I definitely got a little lucky there with him missing 2 Stone Edges, but then again, me missing Focus Blast really did matter, because Pheromosa definitely would have been able to pressure him and put in a lot of work against his team. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the battle. Let me know what you think about Dugtrio being suspect tested and potentially banned to the Uber's tier if enough people vote for it to leave OU. So with that being said guys, I will see you all tomorrow. Make sure to check out the 2 videos on the end screen, and yeah, thank you all for watching guys. Later everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in the knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion, but when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears of hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hope. hoping.